Get more now on that story. We can speak to retired Lieutenant General David Deptula, currently Dean of the Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies, former Chief of Air Force Intelligence, Surveillance and Reconnaissance with the U.S. Air Force. Lieutenant General, very good to talk to you. I know you were also commander of the Air Operations Center for those first phases of the war in Afghanistan. Where do you expect this money to go and why, assuming it's passed by Congress?
Well, Mike, what I would tell you is it will most likely go to each one of the services in some proportion that is yet to be determined. But what I think it's important that your audience understand is this is not really a defense increase. To put things in perspective, 8 years ago, defense spending was at 4.6% of the U.S. gross domestic product, and today it's down at 3.2%. So that's really a collapse. It's a huge decline in defense spending. As Senator McCain put it today, U.S. military is underfunded, undersized, and unready to meet its commitments around the world. So any plus up just gets our military close to treading water. It really doesn't put it ahead.
So President Obama had brought military spending down, clearly, though he did hugely increase the drone program, didn't he? I think what many people are wondering is why is this needed at all if Mr. Trump wants to be, he says he wants, the U.S. to be far less interventionist militarily?
Well, again, our national security strategy is one that requires, excuse me, U.S. forces to be stationed forward around the world to shape the security environment, to promote peace and stability. That's not necessarily interventionist. It is a deterrent strategy to prevent conflict in the first place. Well, in order to do that, U.S. military and all of the services need to have a rotational base so that we don't wear out our forces when indeed we are in the engagement phase of trying to secure peace and stability. Now, the second part of our national security strategy requires the United States military, in conjunction with its allies, the ability to fight and win in multiple contingencies wherever and whenever called upon to do so. And quite frankly, the Obama administration allowed the United States military to decline. Our readiness of our forces is some of the lowest that it's ever been since the 1970s era of hollow military forces.
Just so on that point, forgive me, if you don't mind, just on that point though, while you're on it, and just briefly, if you don't mind, isn't there a danger that if the US puts this money in, then China, Russia, Iran perhaps feel they have to ramp up and we're back in something escalating?
No, absolutely not. As I mentioned at the beginning, the United States military has basically deferred investment in its forces over the last 25 years. We've been in decline. And the price of underinvestment is very clear. It's increased instability. So the Russians, the North Koreans, the Iranians, and the Chinese are already taking advantage of that because they know that we're stretched thin.
Lieutenant General Deptula, thank you very much indeed.
Take care.